Good evening, good evening, good evening. I know it is late. But I just got done posting for the Black Friday sales. I said, let me see who's up. We can do a little business structure, do a little business grant, get our little selves together. So how is everyone doing this evening? December is going to have a lot of grants, but I want you guys to be thinking about what do we need to be doing for the end of the year to then start getting our business together for, 2024. A couple of things you want to be mindful of is, what were our numbers this year? If you are at that $60,000 to $80,000 in profit, you want to talk to your CPA, your accountant, about making that S Corp election. Okay, so an S Corp is a tax election. Either you'll be an LLC or a C Corp, but you can say, hey, IRS, can you please tax me as an S Corp? If you are at that $60,000 to $80,000 in profit, you want to talk to your CPA or your accountant regarding filling out that form. It's going to be the IRS form 2553 in making that S Corp election so that you're not having to pay that 15.3% self-employment tax. Okay. We also want to make sure it's the end of the year that we have enough insurance. Has your business grown? Are you carrying more equipment, more inventory at your place of business? Have you bought any new equipment? Do you have enough coverage for where you're at? Have you gotten a bigger place? So making sure that you have enough insurance coverage is also a great thing. And then once again, looking on your articles of organization, what is the address to your registered agent? You want to make sure that that's a current address. So maybe it's an outdated address. You've moved from there. That's where the lawsuit's coming. That's where the state is going to be mailing you information regarding your LLC. So we need to make sure that that address is a good address. Okay. So when we're talking about business structure, we want to make sure that we have everything lined up, because as we are, doing our business, as we're growing, everything is growing on our structure. Okay. So if we're kind of faulty at the beginning, then everything that we build on top of that faulty foundation will eventually fall. So of course, first things first, we are going to be getting an LLC or a corporation. I prefer an LLC. You want to have an LLC because even if your business is small, you haven't made any money, you're just thinking about doing it. I want to just be a sole proprietor. I want to just be a DBA. Let me wait until I make some money first before I invest in an LLC. What you're wanting to do, you want to form your LLC to separate you from your business, right? So you may have a house, you may have a home, you may have vehicles, you may have money in the bank. We don't want to be doing business with those assets being exposed. Okay, so some states are going to have an annual filing fee. California is a little higher, it's $800. But ask yourself, do I have assets that are more than $800? Do I have do I have assets more than whatever is that filing fee? So maybe it costs $200 to form the LLC, and then every year maybe there's a $200 fee. Do you have more than $400 worth of assets? If you do, then you need to form an LLC. Don't think about the upfront cost of what it's going to be. Think about what is it going to cost me in the long run, right? So if I don't have an LLC, if I'm just out here having a business, let me say I do Joy's barbecue. I left my rib sauce. I left my ribs out too long, or the cook forgot to put them in the refrigerator, so they kind of sat overnight. I didn't know, and so when the people come in the next day to eat these ribs, they get food poison, they get sick, and they sue me. Well, if I lose my lawsuit, and I may lose my lawsuit because I am out of order for leaving my ribs out and getting people sick, I now stand the chance to lose the money in my personal bank account. I now stand to choose to lose the money or to lose whatever equity I have in my home. I stand the chance of losing my vehicle. So at that, once the lawsuit hits and I'm realizing what I'm facing, well, the $800, the $500, the all that seems like it's nothing, right? Because it's way less than what I'm risking. So when you look at the cost of things, don't just look at what it's going to cost me today. Look at what it's going to cost you in the future. Okay. So regardless of what we're thinking about doing, the second we are entering into contracts, buying inventory, negotiating rates, once we start working on that business, we want to have our LLC, not for the business, but to protect us, to protect our home, to protect our vehicles, to protect our assets. Okay, so number one, we want to form our LLC or our corporation. Number two, we want to make sure that we have a business or a virtual address on our corporate documents. Okay, so if you have a brick and mortar store, if you have a business address, you'll want to use that. If you work out of your home, if you're an online enterprise, that's fine. You just need to get a virtual address, not a post office box, not a UPS store, a virtual address. So when someone walks to the address, they're going to see a workspace, office space. It's going to be a real office, not a post office box, not the mailbox, not any of that. So we want to have our LLC. We want to have a business or virtual address, not iPostal. iPostal comes up as a PO box. You want to do a Regis, an Opus, an Alliance, a physicaladdress.com, a real commercial office space. Then we want to make sure that we don't have a high risk industry in our name. Okay. So industries like transportation, trucking, construction, CBD, tax preparation, credit repair, all of those are considered high risk when it comes to the bank. Okay. If you already have that in your name, that's fine. We'll just move along. But if you're just forming and you are looking for maximum funding, then we don't want to have a high risk industry in our name. Okay. Once you form your LLC, you'll then get your EIN number. And then of course we need to open our business bank account. Now, once you form your LLC, that's the first step. After we form it, now we have to run the LLC correctly. Okay. So forming it is always the first step, but you got to run it, and we have to run it with the proper corporate formalities, meaning this. There are certain rules and regulations that you have to follow when you have a business. If you don't follow those, they're going to deem your LLC to be non-existent, basically, and you lose your asset protection. I done lost my earring back. Look at me losing my earring back. Oh well, we'll see if she just hangs on in there. So the first corporate formality that we need to follow is making sure that we file our LLC annual report every single year. Okay, so some states will just have an annual report. That's a requirement. Some states have an annual report and a fee that has to be paid. If you don't file that report or pay that fee, then your state's going to deem your LLC inactive. Even if your LLC has not made any money, you haven't done any business, you still have to file this report, okay? If you file an LLC in a different state than where you are residing or working, so if you filed, I don't know, an LLC in Delaware or in Wyoming, but you live in California and you work from home, so your corporate headquarters is going to be California. Well, since you're doing business in California, you would need to register that out-of-state LLC as a foreign LLC in the state that you're in. Now, if you have a warehouse in Delaware, if you have a corporate office space in Delaware, well, then you don't have to register in California. However, if there is no corporate presence in the state that you formed your LLC, you have to file that out-of-state LLC as a foreign LLC in the state that you're doing business in. And if you don't have a brick and mortar, if you're online, then wherever you are as the CEO, that's your corporate headquarters, okay? People think, well, let me go file an LLC in Texas because it doesn't have a state tax, and then therefore I don't have to pay taxes. Well, that's not true, okay? Because an LLC is considered a pass-through entity, meaning all the income flows to the owner. So, see my earring about to fall off? So if I live in California, but I have a Texas LLC, but there's no state tax, all the income is going to be filed on my personal tax return. Since I live in California, I'm going to be filing, baby, look at these fireworks. Y'all see that? How did fireworks come up there? If I live in California and I file California tax return, all of my Texas LLC income is going to be filed on my California tax, on my federal tax return and my California tax return. Therefore, all the income is still flowing to me. So I'm still paying a California tax on that income because I'm in California. So forming an LLC in a different state to get the tax benefits, that doesn't work because taxes are paid where the income is earned. So if you live and you work, or if you live in your business headquarters is in California, you're going to be paying a California tax. Okay, so forming LLCs in different states for tax benefits, or I heard this or that. One, the tax benefits are not true. Two, there are no states that have better asset protection laws than other states. Like, all of the state rules are normally the same. What you need to be doing is running your LLC properly to be able to receive all the benefits. I knew she was going to go of asset protection. Okay. So we want to make sure that we are, one, forming our LLC, two, that we're filing our annual report. If we have filed an LLC out of state, then we are registering or filing that LLC in the state that we're really residing in and working in as a foreign LLC or a foreign corporation. Okay. Number three, certain industries require certain licenses and permits. If we don't have those licenses or permits, they're going to pierce the corporate veil, meaning they're going to say your LLC is no good and we're coming after your personal assets. We don't want that, okay? So check to see whatever your state or whatever your city requires, or your industry. What do those three things require to have as far as to do business? Okay. Some may require you to be bonded. Some may require you to have a certain license or permit. Some may require you to have a certain type of insurance, like errors and omissions insurance or E&O insurance. Okay. So you want to make sure that whatever are the guidelines that your industry requires, that those are met. The fourth thing is you want to make sure that our banking is together. Okay. So we don't want to be co-mingling funds. This is like one of the top ways of piercing the corporate veil, because if I form my LLC and it's just me, it's real easy for me to kind of think, well, I am the LLC, so I can just use the LLC bank account how I feel. So I may take my business card and I may pay for my nails. I may buy some makeup. I may just do whatever, because I mean, it's all going to me. It's all the same money, right? Well, no. So if we're forming an LLC, we have to run our LLC like it's Walmart, okay? Is the CEO of Walmart taking the Walmart business card and swiping it for his haircut? No, he's going to take his personal credit card and pay for all his personal bills out of his personal account. You need to make sure that in your business bank account that only business expenses are being paid, okay? We don't want to be swiping our business card for nails, lashes, non-business expenses. That's called co-mingling funds. We don't want business funds going to our personal Cash App, our personal Zelle. That's called co-mingling funds, okay? Mixing business funds and personal funds together is a big no-no and is one of the major ways of piercing the corporate veil. Well, how are they going to know? Well, if you are ever hit with a lawsuit, what they will do is they are going to subpoena the last probably 90 days of bank statements, right? They're going to go through them to see what you're doing. Are you running it like Walmart? Are you running it like a business? Or are you really running your LLC like a piggy bank? If you're running it like a piggy bank, now we have a problem, okay? So if you have made that mistake, I would say, number one, let's just stop. Okay, number two, what you can do is you can reimburse the business for whatever personal expenses it made. So let's just say I'm at my lash appointment, I'm done, and it's time to pay my lash tech, and I literally forgot my wallet. Like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything. All I have is like my little wallet on my keys, and I have my business check card on me. That's the only card I have. Well, I can't be like, hey girl, I forgot my personal card, so can I just pay you when I get home? She's gonna be like, no sis, I'm not gonna play with you like that. So I may swipe my business card only because that's the only card I had. You want to make a reimbursement form. Okay, so what you want to do is when you get home, when you get to your office, you want to reimburse the business for that personal expense. Okay, so I'm either going to write a check or do a wire transfer. If I do an ACH transfer, you know how whenever you do an ACH transfer, you can like put something in the notes as to like why you did this transfer. So in the notes, I'm gonna say reimburse for the $110 at the lash place, right? Or I'll write a check and say reimbursement for the lash expense. So from my personal account to my business account, I am going to pay back that money so that it's like everything's been reconciled, right? Now, if you have a whole bunch of transactions or we don't have the money to put it back, then all we can do is just, let's just have, 30 days pass. So if something were to happen, we're not hit with that bank statement, right? So 9 out of 10 times, if we just stop what we're doing and then just do it correctly, we should be good. But you want to always make sure that the business is just for business expenses and personal is just for personal. Although you own both, we can't run it like we own both. We got to run it like it's two separate things. We don't want any business cash going to our personal bank account, or going to our Cash App, going to our Venmo, going to our Zelle. We want everything to be going in that business account. So we should be having something called a POS system or a point of sale system. Systems like PayPal, but PayPal will play with your money. Stripe, Clover, Square, all of these are called point of sale systems where you can take a credit card payment in this system. You can invoice your clients. You can, give them receipts. Everything is ran in this system. It's like a CRM. It's like a third party system that will keep track of all your sales. Okay. Even if you have cash. So if I do hair, nails, lashes, barber, massages, I get paid a lot of cash. Well, you still want to log that cash into your point of sale device so that you can track your sales, right? How much did you make this month? How much did you make last month? Is your business growing? Is it stagnant, or are we losing money? This month, last year, are you making the same amount? Are we equal? Are we making more? How is our business doing? Well, the only way we really know how our business is doing is based off the numbers, or the income minus the expenses, right? So we got to have something to track our sales. How much did I do today? How much did I do this month? Now compare it from last year. How am I doing? How am I performing? If I'm off somewhere, is there a reason why? Okay, so prime example, if I was killing it in 2019, right? And then 2020, my sales are low. Well, is it something I'm doing wrong as a business owner, or is there some kind of outside factor as to why my sales will be low, right? So COVID hit in 2020. So if my sales drop, it's probably not because my product's bad. It's probably not because my service is bad. It's probably because the whole world was on, a stay-at-home order, for the most of 2020, and they really weren't, purchasing or shopping or being out. So that's why my sales are dropped. If nothing's going on and your sales are dropping, well, what's going on? Am I losing my customers? Am I having an issue with customer retention? Maybe I need to rebrand or change my packaging? Do I need to kind of add another product or service? But the only way that we can gauge our business is on these numbers. And the best way to know your numbers is to have some kind of point of sale system, some kind of software that's going to be able to run a report. So at the end of the month, bam, how much did I do? Compared to last year, how am I doing? In the last 3 months, am I increasing sales? If I'm increasing sales, great. What did I do different? Did I change a marketing technique? Am I doing something on Instagram? Did I change my packaging? Did I add something new? Whatever is working, we want to know what's not working, but more importantly, we want to know what is working. Because once we know what's working, then we know, well, I need to do this times 10. I need to magnify this. I need to duplicate this. I need to make this work, okay? For example, if I have Joy's Barbecue, right? And I've been doing barbecue ribs, barbecue chicken, and some barbecue pork chops. And on normally we'll say $10,000 a month, right? But for the holidays, I added a peach cobbler and I added a cake, right? I can't keep the peach cobbler in stock. I can't keep the cake in stock. Like, there's a line. People are just ordering the peach cobbler and the cake, and they aren't even coming in for this barbecue, right? I'm making more peach cobbler and cake than I am barbecue. Well, if I'm not tracking this, if I'm just, because when you're in your business, right? You are working, we're handling customer complaints, we're trying to order the inventory, we're going back and forth with vendors, we're like in our business working. We see people coming in, we may not know, is it a good month? Is it a bad month? A lot of times we're like, hey, all my bills are paid, so I'm good. Well, all your bills are paid, but is there money left over, right? What are our numbers? So if you don't have any kind of software at the end of the month, I can see what I'm doing, then we don't know what we're doing and we don't know what's working, right? So back to my scenario, for November, maybe my sales doubled, right? And I'm like, well, okay, well, did they double because it's Thanksgiving? Like, what made it double, right? And so when I look back, I can say, oh, well, I did add the dessert category to my menu. Well, you know what? Well, did people buy my desserts just because it was Thanksgiving and they needed and they wanted something for the holidays, or are my desserts really a hit? Let me run it again for Christmas, right? So I keep the same menu for Christmas, and once again, I'm killing it in the peach cobbler and the cake. In fact, I'm selling more peach cobbler and cake than I'm doing ribs. But see, if I don't have a point of sale system to see, I'm increasing. None of this is going to be triggering anything. I have more money in the bank account, but is it because of the ribs or is it because of the peach cobbler? So now I'm like, well, hey, it's January. There is no real holiday in January. Let me add one more thing. So I'm going to do a peach cobbler, I'm going to do a cake, and I'm going to add some pecan candy, right? And let me just see what it does. Once again, my sales keep increasing. Well, what that should tell me as a business owner is, although my passion is barbecue, although I started Joy's Barbecue, although I thought people were going to run to me because of my bomb barbecue and I have the best sauce in town, what they're really liking are these desserts. And every month I'm adding another dessert and I'm increasing my sales. So now I know, you know what? Maybe I need to order less barbecue sauce. Maybe I need to order less ribs, less turkey legs. Let me order less meat and double up on the desserts. And over time, I'm seeing, you know what? I may need to change my name from Joy's Barbecue to Joy's Barbecue and Desserts. But I would not have known that if I did not know my numbers. A lot of times as a business owner, we are dreading these numbers because we think that we're losing money, right? A lot of times there's a lot of money coming in, but there's a lot of money coming out. When you're starting your business, a lot of money is going to be coming out in the beginning because we have errors. We have, I made that mistake. We are just trying to kind of figure out our way in these business streets, in this industry, what works, what doesn't work. So we are kind of spending a lot of money out in the beginning. But if we can keep the sales going and increasing, and then now we are minimizing our mistakes, and we are cutting back on what we now know what doesn't work, and we're only doing what does work, over time, it's going to flip. Meaning we're now going to be making more money than what we were before. And so our money is going to increase, and our expenses normally stay the same. And so now we're going to be having more of a profit, right? So in the beginning, it's going to be hard. In the beginning, we're going to be in the hole. In the beginning, we're going to be in the red. We got to dig ourselves out of that hole, but eventually it's going to switch, right? So when it switches, we then want to know, well, what is working? So it may be depressing in the beginning seeing these numbers because they are not going to be what you want to see, but it's so important to know them. So if I'm losing $5,000 a month and I go down to losing $2,000 a month, something's working. We are making more sales. Eventually, we're going to break even. And eventually we're going to then be in the green, or we're going to be in the profit. Okay. So knowing your numbers is one, to make sure that we're making money. And if we're not, why? Number two, once we start making money, what's working? It could be the same thing for our services. Like if I'm doing lashes, but then I add, maybe I start doing those lip injections, right? Well, all of a sudden, I'm more booked for the lip injections than I am for the lashes. So I need to know that. So maybe if I only have $5,000 for inventory, if I don't know that, hey, my lip injections are more than I'm being booked more than my eyelashes, I'm going to continue to order the same inventory for the lashes. But in all actuality, I should be decreasing when I'm ordering for lashes and increasing whenever I'm ordering for these lip injections, because what's working is switching. A big problem that businesses will face is they don't know all this, and so they keep dumping their money in the same thing, and then now we're low on money, right? So maybe every month I'll go back to my little Joy's barbecue situation. I am at that meat market. This freezer is packed, this refrigerator, everything is packed with this meat, right? Well, maybe I have a slow month, or maybe just in my industry it's just slow for 1 month, right? So now, okay, I'm seeing that the desserts are working. Well, now I want to order some more desserts, but now I don't have any cash flow. I didn't use all my money on the meat, okay? So that's why knowing your numbers, knowing what's working, knowing what's not working is so important. So don't just get so stuck in, burying our head in the sand and not knowing these numbers. Knowing your numbers means how much sales do you have coming in? That's called income, minus what's going out. That's called expenses. So you take your income minus your expenses, that's going to be your net profit, meaning how much money you are bringing home. The income coming in without any expenses was what we call your gross profit, meaning you'll hear people say, I made $1 million this year. I made $10 million this year. Great. And how much of that was net? If you ever watch Shark Tank, the first thing that they're going to say is, well, we did, $4 million. And they're going to say, out of that $4 million, how much of that was a profit? Okay. Because if I made $4 million this year, but I had 4.1 in expenses, I'm losing money. So I'm not profitable. So I'm not a profitable business. So if you made $10,000 this year and you had $11,000 of expenses, you're in the same boat as if you made $4 million this year and you have 4.1 in expenses, okay? We have to be able to break even and then make a profit. So you want to make sure that you understand income minus expenses is your net profit. What is that number? That number is the lifeline to you and your business, right? So if we're looking at, hey, well, how come I'm not turning a profit? People are coming in here, I'm selling things, what's wrong? If you're bleeding somewhere, knowing your numbers will then be, well, let me go look at these expenses. What is the problem, right? Like, I see people coming in. It's not like it's crickets. Why am I not making a profit yet? Now, I'm not saying on month one to do this, because in month one, we are just trying to get ourselves going. But if you're a year in and we're still not making a profit, but we are booked and busy, something's wrong, right? Maybe we are pricing our product wrong. This happened to me. A lot of times when you are busy or when you're making a lot of money, when you make a lot of money, a lot of times you don't pay attention to the small things. The small bleed is the most dangerous bleed because it can happen over a long period of time. A small bleed could be your inventory being priced wrong. A small bleed could be some employee theft, right? So if you're making $500,000, $1 million a month and an employee's taking $1,000 a month, you're probably not even going to even see that $1,000, gone unless you're in your numbers, right? Well, $1,000 a year is going to be $12,000. That's just one employee stealing. Well, let's say you have 5 employees stealing, right? That's going to be $5,000 a month times 12. That's $60,000 a year. Now, I don't care how much the bleed is. No business owner can afford just to throw money down the drain. So you want to make sure that you're catching your bleed. When you start making a lot of money, a lot of times we relax on what we were doing when we were robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? Like we are in our business. We know every expense coming out, because if something too much comes out, this account is going to go negative. So we're in it, right? Once we start making money, sometimes we get a little comfortable, right? Ooh, finally made some money, bills ain't a problem. Let me go ahead and relax. Okay, that's like the number one mistake, speaking from experience. So what happened to me at one of my hair salons is my vendor increased the pricing on the longer extensions. So I used to have a hair salon, had 10 locations. I would also sell hair extensions. And they went up like $10 a bundle on the longer inches. Money isn't an issue, right? So when they send the invoice, we order so much, like I don't need the pricing. I just say, hey, I need a kilo of X, Y, and Z, and they just send me what that total price is without giving me a breakdown, right? I am so used to spending $100,000 a month. I'm just wiring the money, not realizing that on the longer inches, they've increased the price, I think either $10 or $15 a bundle. Whatever it was, when I sold the longer inches, I used to have a bundle deal, 3 bundles for $250. When I sold the longer bundles at 3 for $250, I was losing $20 on that bundle. So it cost me $270. You give me $250. So basically, I lost $20 every time somebody bought a bundle of the longer inches. Well, you're thinking, well, $20 isn't a lot of money. Well, one, I'm losing. So I'm not even covering my costs. I'm losing $20, okay? $20, how many customers am I selling this bundle to? I'm selling a lot of hair. So I think I bled for maybe a good 6 or 7 months. I knew something was wrong. Like, something's not right. Like I'm seeing the sales, the salon is packed, but something's going on with my product. I should be making more money on my products than I am. So once I realized something's not wrong, 6 months later, I'm realizing I am bleeding in my hair prices. So I contact my vendor. I'm like, something's off. Like, did our prices change? Oh, friend, I didn't tell you. Now he know he didn't tell me. See, another thing in business, never get too comfortable, right? I don't care how much money you're making. I don't care how nice a person is. I don't care how great things are going. Always treat a situation like it's day one. And that's my fault. I got comfortable. I never said, I kept sending money off without requiring them to send me like a breakdown up front, because that's my friend, that's my vendor. We spent all this money together, baby. That's who's gonna steal from you. Your friend, your family. That's who's stealing, okay? Because you let your guards down. Oh, friend, I didn't tell you. No, you didn't tell me. So when I calculated, I'm losing like $10,000-$15,000 a month just on not knowing what my pricing is, right? Thank God, $10,000-$15,000 wasn't about to move me, but I'm bleeding. I don't have no money to throw down the drain, right? So when you are doing business, you don't want a receipt. You want an itemized receipt. Like, I'm getting a receipt. Here's the total. It'll be like, we got 200 bundles for blah. No, go ahead and give me an itemized receipt. Go through and give me like, how many of this am I getting? How many of that am I getting? Like, give me everything broken down. I'm tripping. I'm getting way too comfortable because you are now, they are winning. They're charging me more. I'm not understanding it. And now I'm handing everyone $20 when they walk out with my hair. Now, if I wasn't financially solvent, that could have crippled my business, right? If I wasn't financially all the way together, that can make someone's, business close down. So you want to make sure that you're able to catch the bleed. Your employees are going to steal from you all day, every day, okay? Because all they see is the money going in. They don't see the money going out. So you're rich. You're rich. You got all these customers. Everything is free to them. The supplies are free. The internet is free. So anything that they can take from your business, they will. That's another reason why you need to know your numbers, right? So a smart thief or a smart employee, they're going to steal small. If you ever watch American Greed, if you ever watch, all these shows that are talking about financial crimes, it's the bookkeeper. She just took $1,000 a month. It's the accountant. She just paid her car note, but over time, depending on how slick the employee is, if they're smart, they'll do a small amount just over time. Most of the time, okay, well, I'm taking $1,000 a month and no one's saying anything. Now I'm gonna take $2,000. I'm taking $2,000 a month. No one's saying anything. Now I'm gonna take $5,000. They're gonna start increasing it. But if you're making a lot of money, you're not going to catch it. Once a month, you should be at your CPA's office or whoever does your bookkeeping saying, what are my numbers? And then breaking everything down, expense line item for line item for line item, right? Is something look off? Does the inventory price look high? Does the payroll look high? A couple months ago, Taco Bell had a manager who made up a fake employee and paid this fake employee for over a year. The fake employee had like $30,000 in payroll checks, and it didn't get caught until the fake employee didn't file this W-2, and that's how they caught, oh, this wasn't even a real person, okay? These employees, baby, these employees are going to run game on you somehow, okay? Either stealing, payroll, taking things. That's why it's so important to know your numbers and to be in your business, or at least make them think you're in your business. We can't have a business and hire a manager and then we are never there. We are never in it. No one, we're just trusting this one person to give us all the information. That's never going to work. Now, am I saying you got to be there every single day, 12 hours a week? I'm not saying that. At some point in time, you are going to grow and you are not going to have to be in there every single day. But you need to pop up on them. Like Mondays at 12. Like, you don't need to have a a set routine. They don't need to know, okay, on Monday we can't steal, but on Tuesday to Saturday we can't. You need to always keep them on your toes, always keep them on your feet, have cameras, call up there, hey, who's that customer that just left? Oh, she's watching. You just making some stuff up, right? But you can never let them think that, you are just trusting them all the way, because they will take from you. So we got to know our numbers. We got to assess our numbers to know what's working, what's not working. And then once we know what is working, we're going to just 10x that, right? So with my Joy's Barbecue scenario, once I start seeing that it's not the holidays, but people still want desserts, well, let me now go give them more desserts. You're doing consultations. Let's say I'm a fitness person, right? I'm doing one-on-one consultations, and just on a fluke, I decide, hey, I'm going to do a glute camp on Saturday. Well, over time, there are more people at my glute camp than booking one-on-one, right? So once I'm seeing a trend, I want to be able to maximize. Well, if the glute camp is popping on Saturday, maybe I'm going to have a glute camp on Saturday and then have maybe like a glute camp on Tuesday and Thursdays in the evening, right? Maybe I'm going to do a glute camp on the weekend. Maybe I'm going to add a couple glute camps, or maybe I'm going to have, since the glute camp is popping, what if I recorded the glute camp live, right? So if you're not in my state, you're not in my city, you can't come to my gym, but you want to work out with me and get these glutes together, you can be in my online community. And I will broadcast my glute training online, and now I can market to the US of A. So if I'm in Florida and a girl's in New York, she can still attend my glute camp via the web. I see that the glute camp is working. If the glute camp is working, what about abs? Is the abs going to be as popular or not? Let me add an ab class. Is it popping? Let me see if it's not that popping. Oh, never mind with the abs. Let me go back to the glute. The glute camp is popping. What is related to glutes that I can maximize on my glute camp, right? They have those bands when you do the exercise. Okay, well, what if I sell a band, right? Maybe I'll start with like a link to Amazon. Hey, we use these bands. If you want the band, here's my link to Amazon. I'm looking at my link. Everyone's buying the band. Okay, they like the band. Now that I know that they're buying the band, let me go and get my own band, right? So I can now go and make my own little glute band. Knowing what is working for your business will help you be able to know what kind of ancillary things I can have around what's working, right? So if the glute camp is working, I have now a glute camp webinar where you can, join my class live virtually. I now see that y'all like this band, right? So I'm gonna give y'all a band workout. Then I might hit you with, hey, I have an at-home workout, right? So every night, if you do these 5 workouts in between coming to my glute camp, it's going to sculpt your glutes, right? So I make an ebook, and now I'm selling the ebook to all of my glute camp current customers, all of my virtual glute camp customers, and then I'm now getting new people from advertising on social media, all because I understood that the glute is what's working. I'm a trainer. I'm thinking I'm going to be having clients one-on-one come train to get me, but I accidentally did a glute camp because I was bored, and I paid attention to see how it worked. That's how you know what's going to work for your business. No matter how you start, what you envision, my number one seller is going to be, that may not be. It may be something else. But if we don't understand what's working in our business, if we don't know these numbers, if we can't track our sales and know where our sales are coming from, we don't know what's working. Once you know what's working, all you're going to do is just 10x that. Put my money behind that. Market that, because now I know it's working. But you got to kind of, see what do the people like. You may think it's one thing, and you're going to ask your mama. She's going to tell you, oh, baby, it's perfect. Just, you want to know, what does the customer want from you? And then once you realize what they want from you, we just give them more of that and try to add as many layers to that as possible that is related, because you want to be able to hit your customer multiple times. If she came for the glue camp, how else can I get her money? She's already bought into me. She's already liked me. How many of you guys have bought something from someone and then you buy from them again, whether it's a weekly or a monthly service thing? Like my nails, I'm gonna go to my nail person every 2 weeks. Lashes, I'm going to my lash person every 2 weeks. She was telling me about some kind of mask that you can put on at night, but the eyelash part's open, so when you go to sleep, because I sleep on this side, so this side's always thinner than this side because I sleep on this side, right? So she's like, if I got a mask, I was like, girl, if you got me a little mask that will protect yes, I will buy it. How many times can you take that one client and hit them multiple times? Whether it's reoccurring or you have multiple products. Okay, if you have a store, right? If Fashion Nova is your store, how many times have you shopped at your store this month? How many times have you shopped at your store in the past 3 months? Because that's your store, right? So if I get invited to go to, I have a Christmas party, right? I'm going to go to my store first, or my favorite online boutique first, to see what do they have. If my online boutique sold an orange shirt and black pants and a green shirt, and 6 months from now, it's the same orange shirt, green shirt, and black pants, well, I can't buy from them again because they have nothing new from me, right? So a lot of times, once you get your core, you have to first have a core product. We got to first have something that's working. A lot of times, a new business wants to have 8,001 things. I'm not saying that. Once you know what's working, now we can add on. Chick-fil-A used to have the chicken sandwich, fries, and a drink. That's it. Then they added the chicken tenders, right, or the chicken nuggets. Then now you can get you a grilled chicken sandwich, right? But the chicken is working. Then they added salads, right? I don't know how old y'all are. I'm old, right? Chick-fil-A didn't have no salads back in the day. They had the chicken sandwich, fries, and a drink, and that lemonade, right? Then they certain Chick-fil-A's in summertime is gonna give you a fish fillet, the best fish fillet you'd ever had. It is so good, right? So once they know what's working, they can then add things. You'll see on Chick-fil-A, they'll add and they'll take away. So they used to have like a frozen coffee drink. That's gone, right? Or forget Chick-fil-A. You'll see different people will have certain things, or maybe they only offer this thing in a certain season, or they had it and they took it away, or they had it and they grew from it, right? So knowing what's working and what's not working, whatever's not working, that's fine. We're going to take that money from what's not working and then put it into what is working. So you want to make sure before we just go all in financially that we know from the customer standpoint as, hey, I want this. And then once you know what they want, how do we add on to it? How can I give you more things that you need in this same thing? Okay, so think about ancillary products, things that will go around what you're already selling. If I'm a hairstylist and I'm doing hair, well, what are some things that my client will already need, right? So what are some hair products? So when I go home, what does your client need to do? If you have a client that has natural hair or weave or any kind of hair, she'll need to go home and grease her scalp with Blue Magic, right? For those who don't know hair, Blue Magic is going to be like some old school thick blue grease that back in the day used to oil your scalp. It's going to make your hair real heavy, real oily. If you have hair extensions, it's going to make that hair just look real piecey. If you have your natural, you're going to look a mess, right? So you don't want to have a girl leave your chair, grease her scalp down with some thick oil, talking about, I got my hair slayed from joy. No, you didn't, because when you left my chair, you didn't look like that, right? So can you sell a product, Or if we don't have, if it's not in the budget to have a product line yet, can you do an Amazon link or get some kind of, referral program or some kind of product that you would recommend? So when you recommend this product, you can get a commission off of it. Or can you buy an already made product? So I'm going to buy some product from, I'm going to buy maybe like 5 hair oil from a girl I like or a company I like, and then I'm going to upsell it. So maybe I make $5 or $10 per bottle, but I don't have to go out and get a whole product line. I can buy 5 or 10 products. Or I can come up with an ebook or an e-course as to how to maintain your hair. So how do I sleep at night? How do I shampoo to maintain my extensions? How do I curl? So my client leaves paying me, but then she gets my ebook to how to maintain my hair. Or if she has a wig, how to maintain the wig, how to clean the wig, how to get all the gook and the makeup and the glue off of the. How many times can you make your client purchase from you? That is the key. If you can keep hitting them over and over again, forget financially making money. If they're buying from you, whatever is the product or service is going to be top notch because it's you, right? So you're now giving your client the best care. So not only are you leaving the salon looking great, you're able to maintain your hair for 2 weeks. Any of y'all went to a salon or went somewhere and the next day it was just a mess, it just didn't hold up, or you bought something and the next day it didn't last, or you purchased something and after you washed it, it didn't last? Like, you want people to feel like, I invested in this and it's lasting. I bought a car from you and it's a good car. I got a coaching session from you and I feel like I can just conquer the world. And after my coaching session, I get your ebook. And then after your ebook, I get your e-course. And after your e-course, I have the journal. How many times can we hit this client over the head time over time over time again with great products and services? So not only do they take your coaching course, but she's able to maintain, or she came to therapy, you're a therapist, she's able to maintain in the in-between time because she has your book, she has your journal, she has your, 31 affirmations to speak in. You are now making your customer experience better. When your customer experience is better, we now have something called customer retention. This is my customer. This is my boutique. This is my hairstyle. This is my nail tech. This is my therapist. This is your personal spokesperson. You have won them over. It's one thing to get a client to buy from you, right? It's another thing to wow them, to make that client your personal spokesperson. These major corporations are spending millions of dollars on advertising, right? Your McDonald's, Fashion Nova, all these big brands are either going to be spending big money with influencers on social media, TV ads, radio ads, billboards. We probably can't compete with that. But if Miss Shirley comes on Friday to get her hair done, and you wow her with your customer service, and you give her her little, Angel Mama curls how she wants it, and you make her feel warm and fuzzy inside, when she goes to church on Sunday, what is she going to tell Sister Odell and them? Girl, you need to go over there and get your hair done by blah, blah, blah. What's she going to tell when she at the grocery store? And, oh, girl, I like hair. Girl, you need to go to blah, blah, blah. Your goal is to have your customer go and get you 10 more people. So we may not have a $30,000 ad spend on Facebook ads or Instagram ads. You may not have a $30,000 ad spend on the radio, but every person that you touch, every person that comes in your DM, every person that walks into your store, every person that you talk on that phone, you can make them like and love you, so that when they go somewhere and someone asks them about something, or someone has the problem, you don't even have to have a customer. Like, people, I see all these videos saying, why you shouldn't go viral, and you want to have, you only want to, have your target audience. There are some people who will watch my live every time I go live, who are going to be on my page and don't even have a business. Every person that's on your page is not going to be your customer, but guess what? This is the number one thing. My mama told me to call you. My mama watches your page. My mama sends me all your videos. Mama hasn't spent a dime with me, right? But something I've done has moved mama to go tell her son, book this consultation because you're having this problem and this girl on this video can help you with this problem. How many people on your page can now go and tell 2 more people, girl, he broke up with you? I follow this therapist online and she does all these videos on self-love and, how to bounce back and blah, blah, blah. You should go check her out. So when I talk about wowing the customer may not be someone who's buying from you. The customer may just be a person who's watching you, may be a person who came with the person who's buying you, but you want to make sure that you're just giving value in everything that you do. So if the customer who leaves the consultation, who purchases the product, who gets the service, they're walking around, loving you, and everywhere they go, they are telling people about you. See, it's one thing to get their money. It's another thing to wow them to where they're now your spokesperson. Girl, where them earrings from? Girl, some boutique. How many of y'all heard that? Or girl, it is the best boutique. It is over here on blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. The people there are so nice when you walk in. See, it's a difference. See, a person can buy this shirt all day long and wear it and not mention your brand and not tell nobody about it. We don't want that because we don't have 30 grand for an ad spend. So every person that touches us needs to become a fan, needs to like and love us to go get us 10 more people, right? So your price point may be too high for me, but I may have a bougie friend who your price point isn't too high for. Hey friend, I know you like these $100 candles. I'm not even into candles, but there's this girl I saw, or I went to this place and I saw this candle. I think you would like her. So whether the person is spending money with you or they're not, you still want to give value so that they can then refer you to someone or refer all their family and friends to you. That is why it's so important to know what's working so you make your customer experience just the bomb. Okay, so knowing your numbers to the customer experience, but knowing your numbers will allow you to see what is working, what is popular, so that you can then go and maximize that. But every customer that touches you needs to become a fan. Now, there are going to be some customers that just shouldn't be your customers. The person who complained about the pricing from the get-go, the person who's not respecting your business boundaries, that disrespectful client. There are going to be a handful of clients that we got to just, let go on here by the wayside. Like, girl, just, I'm trying to keep it cute and classy over here. Just keep it going. But for the most part, you want to be able to provide everything you need for your customer in your arena. Okay, if we're doing a service, we're doing the best service so that everyone who uses our service is now referring us or telling people about it. Now, if everyone who touches or sees your product or service is now going out and getting 10 people, that's where the magic happens. Let me draw my diagram. I used to draw this diagram at my monthly meetings for my stylist because people like to look at a customer as just a customer, right? So I don't care. It's just a customer. I ain't got to be the bomb because it's just a customer. But if our goal is to have every customer bring us 10 people, right? And then that customer goes and brings you 10 people. You're going to be booked and busy. You're going to be out of stock. You're going to be on back order. You're going to be saying, girl, won't he do it? You're going to be saying, I got the overflow. And that's what the power of one is. T.D. Jakes had a message about the power of one. That's what got me on this years ago. Cause you be thinking like, to make some money, I gotta have 1 million followers. I gotta have 1,000 people on my Instagram page. And they had a girl. I got the picture from my digital product class. Some girl had like 1 million followers and only sold like eight t-shirts. You know, it's not the followers. It's not how many people you got coming in. It's how can you just change someone's life? How can you really make an impact on what you're doing? You in your business for a reason, right? It needs to be more than to make money. Money is a byproduct. If you do something good, the money gonna come, right? But a lot of times we want to skim because, well, I ain't got a real business, or I'm gonna close up early because and it's like you about to miss out on your blessing. So if one customer brings you 10 and each customer brings you 10, 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 this is how the magic happens right here. It all starts from one. So that if this one person is your personal brand ambassador, and they go and telling everybody at church, they telling people at work, they telling their friends, at their sorority or fraternity meeting, at the PTA, they telling everybody about you. You have the best cupcake in town, right? So at work, she bringing the cupcakes on her day for potluck. Oh my God, this is the best cupcake. Where'd you get this from? Blah, 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 blah. But the product has to be good. We're going to give it to them in the best packaging that we can afford. And the whole customer experience has to be the bomb, right? You're going to get that. This don't take a lot of money. How many of y'all are like, have been to a soul food restaurant before that's like let me not say in the hood, in the urban part of town, right? Or I don't know, how many of y'all go to a restaurant like a hole in the wall, but you're going to the hole in the wall because the food is the bomb. Now it may not have passed that health inspection, right? But the food is the bomb. Or maybe it's the food and the ambiance is the bomb. Now we are probably not going to pull up, in our after 5 attire, right? But we are going to go there at least once a month or once a week to get some good home cooked food, or to get the best seafood, or I'm going to order this. If I have a potluck, I'm going over here. And you don't have to have the biggest storefront. You don't have to have the best looking office. You don't have to have the designer packaging. You don't have to have rent the Airbnb and, take the photo shoot on the private jet. You ain't got to do all that. All you got to do is make sure that every person that sees your content, that comes to your store, that visits you, that has your service, that you wow them. And when you wow them, it's this effect. And then overnight, you're going to be like, where are all these customers coming from? Referral, 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 referral. That's how the magic happens. So you can go spend $10 million on Instagram ads. If your product is the fool, if your service is the fool, if we're not wowing the customer, you just wasted $1 million on social media ads. They may come and you may hit that one lick, but you cannot sustain a business on hitting licks. A business is sustained by residual income, by constant customers. Either I'm able to acquire new customers, or I'm having my same customer come back to me time after time after time again, as I'm also acquiring more customers. You don't want to hit a lick. you want to be in a relationship with your customer, right? So we're going to go on dates. We're going to, figure out what our favorite color is and what's your favorite food. And I'm going to act like I really care what you have going on. And you're going to act like you really care. That's where we're going to court the customer. So by courting the customer, we're going to keep them for a longer period of time. And then they're going to be our personal spokesperson until at Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, who's talking about your business? What customer is telling, hey girl, you need to go check out blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. That's what we want. And that's how we get this effect. It's not buying the followers. It's not the photo shoot. It's not the ads. It's not the pretending. It's just making sure that what we're delivering is the bomb. And then whenever we find out what someone likes, we're then capitalizing on that to get more and more things that are related to that. Okay, so it is 12:40, y'all. I gotta get up early. That's my little 2 cents on business structure. I don't went on to customer retention and growing, but understanding the needs of your customer, understanding what gives them value, right? Depending on what your business is, depending on what industry you're in, it will be different things. So if I am in a more corporate setting, maybe I'm in, I don't know. You got to do what works for you, for who you are as a business, and then what your client really wants, right? But to wow your customer, it doesn't always take a lot of money. It just, how do I say it? They got to really feel like that you care about what you're doing. That's why I say we're starting our business to make money. We're starting our business for financial freedom. Like, we're starting our business to pay these bills. I get it. But we can't just be doing it for the money. Because if you're just doing it for the money and you don't love what you do, or you don't love the opportunity to do what you do because it allows you to do other things, it's going to show. It's going to show, and and you're not going to have that same effect. So you may not even like what you're doing, right? We can talk about your 9-to-5 job. We don't like our 9-to-5 job. Our boss is this, our coworkers are this, you are done, right? But right now, your 9-to-5 job is paying your bills. Your 9-to-5 job is allowing your kids to have whatever activities they have. Like, it's what's providing everything. So although we may not like the job, don't look at the job per se. Look at the opportunity that the job is providing you, right? So I can live in a nice place. I have transportation. My kids are comfortable. I can travel or do whatever because of this job that I don't like. So instead of going to work with this, I don't like my job attitude, go to work with, although I may not like this job, this opportunity is providing me a way of living and for, doing what I need to do. When you go in with that, see, what I'm speaking on is not just for business. It also works for that 9-to-5. When you go in with that attitude, it's going to show. We're chipper. Why are we chipper? Not because we like these coworkers, because, baby, on Friday, I'm about to get paid, right? I am on work on time, and I may stay late, not because I like y'all, but because y'all paying these bills, right? When you focus on what the job's affording you, it should give you some more pep in your steps. So when someone wants to recommend someone for a raise, when someone wants to recommend someone to be transferred to the parent company for a bigger position, when someone wants to be, think about who do we need to hire someone for management? Don't hire no one. Remember so-and-so on the 3rd floor? She is always at her desk 10 minutes early. Whenever I ask her to stay late, she's always late. Like, she always has a smile on her face. We ain't got to hire no one. Get off Indeed. Let's go get so-and-so on the 3rd floor. This same concept works for everything in life. So don't look at your business as if, this is not the business I wanted to start. I thought I was going to have some more money by now. I'm missing out on all these, activities. I'm working on Thanksgiving. Well, you know what? Right now, it may not be affording me what I want, but I want to grow this business so I can have this and I can have my 9 to 5, or I can grow this business so I can quit my 9 to 5, or I'm growing this business so that I have something to give down to my child. Whatever is your reason. So you got to have a why. You got to have a purpose behind what you're doing. So we focus on that, not on the everyday battles of what is going on in our business. What is the bigger purpose? So that when we're in this business and we don't rob Peter, Paul, and Mary trying to pay Joseph off, right? We're in that rat race. We're in like a funky season in our business. We're not tied down to the negative as to what's not going on, what we don't have. We're still able to come in with, a positive attitude, have our creative minds open because we're looking at it from a different, angle. Well, if you guys have not gone to my page, I did do a Black Friday sale. I made some bundles. I have a funding bundle that will have everything you need for funding for grants, forming your LLC, and like the LLC kits and packs, everything that you need for the funding side. I have an asset protection bundle with the holding company, structure webinar, all that stuff you need for the to structure your business correctly. And I want it all bundle. If you comment on this live Black Friday, a link will be sent to you. If you DM me Black Friday, the link will be sent to you. I'm going to have my Black Friday sale for Thursday and Friday. Everyone keeps saying, you going to have a deal. I don't do sales. I don't do this, but y'all have been blowing me up. So I did a bundle package so that if y'all want to get everything at one time at a low price, this is it. This will be the only sale I have because I am not a sale kind of a girl, but I wanted to kind of do something for those, who wanted to kind of get more than one packet, more than one item at a discounted rate, so that going into 2024, we have the tools that we need to take us to having one of our best financial years. Okay. So are we structured correctly? Do you understand how to apply for business grants? Do we understand what to ask for business grants? Business grants are real, right? Like it's not a gimmick. It's not a game. If you have an LLC, EIN, business bank account, you will qualify for a business grant. It's really about what you're asking for. I did a live earlier on this, but you want to ask for things that are going to make you money. A lot of times we hear the word grant and we think, okay, well, let's sound like rapport. Let's sound like, we are, that we need something, our business is failing, keep us open. A business grant is not like a nonprofit grant, right? They aren't trying to save the whales. They're like, okay, if I give you this money, what are you going to do with this money? You need to make something off this money so I can go run back to my donors and say, hey, you gave us X amount and we helped all these businesses do X, Y, and Z, okay? So asking for things that are going to make you money. Maybe getting rent for a bigger office space or an office space if you're working from home. Payroll for employees. So maybe if you ask some employees or some staff to your business, they can handle the day-to-day operations and allow you to be in your business. If you need newer equipment, you need some more equipment or just equipment. Maybe we need some more inventory, right? So if we were able to purchase inventory at a larger amount, we'll get it at a cheaper cost, increasing our profit margin instantly because we're now getting it at a smaller cost. Remodeling, maybe my storefront or my restaurant, it just needs like a whole new makeover. Maybe we need some trademark fees, some attorney fees. Maybe you have a product and you want to go mass produce it, but you got to have your formula patented, so we need, some attorney fees to get a patent. There are a lot of things that your business needs to make money. So I always tell people, what do you need in the next 30 days to make you money? That's what to ask for. Don't ask to catch up on rent. Don't ask to reimburse yourself for what you invested in your business. Don't ask to pay yourself think about things that are going to make you money. That's what you want to ask for. People always say, well, do I need a grant writer? I tell business owners, apply for 5 to 10 business grants a month. That's one, going to increase your chances of getting funded. Number two, you're going to be more comfortable with filling out the grant applications. Most business grant applications are going to be online and they're asking you a question, you're just answering it. So it's not like filling out a 20-page grant proposal. A business grant, they know that you're a business owner and that you're in your business. So if I am a baker, I'm probably the best baker in town. I may not have the best grammar. I may have a couple of misspellings. When I fill out my application, it may not sound like I have a PhD in language arts. And that is fine because they're not looking for a grant writer. They're looking for a business owner who, if I give you this money, you're going to make something with it. So people always say, well, I don't write good. Baby, you don't have to write good. You just have to write good enough to be able to explain why you started your business, what makes you different than the competition, what are some obstacles that you face in, starting or growing your business, why do you need this money, and what you're going to do with this money. I break all of that down in my grant writing class. So if you need help with, finding funding that's not based on credit, not based on revenue that you can get today, I would get that funding bundle. Okay. Asset protection. If we don't know how to properly structure our business, if we have assets and we're owning the assets in the same entity that we're doing the business in, that's for a world of trouble, right? So we need to have a holding company. We need to separate our assets from our business. If we need some asset protection, I have an asset protection bundle, right? So in the comments in this live, or you just comment Black Friday, and a link will be sent to you so you can see what the bundle packages is. And if you say, I want it all, I want everything, I need some funding, I need asset protection, I got you too. I want it all, which has everything that I just mentioned, and of course some of my business products to help you know your numbers, organize your business documents, know what tax deductions you need. I have all that in the bundle. Okay. So my digital products, I did put a sale on. I do have consultation. I did not put that on sale because that is my time. I cannot discount that. But if you comment in this live consultation, it will send you a link to book a consultation with me. Okay. So I have my Black Friday sale. I have my consultations. But what I really want y'all to understand is, whatever is the vision that God gave you, he gave it to you for a reason. Okay, so don't go tell nobody what he told you, because he didn't tell them, he told you. But what I want you to do is be focusful is not a word. Be intentional. Be intentional in going for your dreams, right? If you keep envisioning it, if you keep seeing it, if you keep wanting it, no matter what has happened in life, no matter where you are, no matter what negative thing has happened, no matter, how much self-doubt you have, no matter what didn't work before, it didn't work before then, so why is it going to work now? It's going to work now because you didn't quit. It's going to work now because God said right now is your time. It's going to work now because all of the disappointments you've already experienced, you thought that they were just let down and disappointments, but they were really, God was just giving you some learning experiences. He was giving you wisdom. He was giving you foresight. So because you endured, or you encompassed, or you went through all of what you went through in your past, it's really setting you up to be able to handle the blessing that's coming. So I tell people all the time, if you have given up on your dream, or if you may have put your dream on the back burner, or if you just told yourself, I'm too old, or I just can't do it, or it's not for me, it hasn't happened yet. If you are still waking up every single day and it's still in your mind, God is just like, hey girl, hey boy, like, I'm showing you this for a reason. I'm making you think about this for a reason. And the reason is because, you need to go ahead and do it. So sometimes when we don't accomplish a goal on our timetable, when we thought it was supposed to get done, oh, well, I thought I was going to have this 8-figure business in 2 weeks. It didn't happen. So, oh, well, we are quick to give up on ourselves, right? So I want to challenge you as we end 2023, right? That we are just intentional on what God has told us is for us, that we stop listening to that self-doubt. I don't know how old y'all are, but back in the day, they used to have like on cartoons, they would have like a black character and a white character, not race wise, but like in clothing wise, right? And the character wearing the black clothing was like the bad one, and the character wearing the white clothing was the good one. So we have like a bad thoughts on one side and good thoughts on the other. But a lot of times we are listening and entertaining that bad thought, that negative thought, that girl or boy, you can't do this. You've already tried. It didn't work. It's not going to work now. Why do you keep doing this? Boom, 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 right? We got to be intentional and focus on what has God already blessed you with? What has God already blocked, right? What have we done that we should have had a consequence and we didn't have a consequence, right? Everyone got some of those. What has he already done? And when you focus on what he's already done, how he's already blessed you, how he's already blocked some things that should have come your way that didn't, that will kind of give us a little bit more pep in our step to try again. I know it's hard. I know, especially if you got like a Mike Tyson blow, like a blow just knocked you out. Sometimes it's hard to try again. We would rather just give up on the dream versus try and get our hopes and our expectations up just to get knocked down if it didn't happen, right? But I'll leave you with this. It won't happen if you don't try. Like you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You have to be in the game to score. So as we end 2023, why don't we end intentional? Like I am intentionally going to do something every single day towards my dream, whether it's a personal dream, whether it's a family dream, a business dream, but whatever it is, be intentional. Like I am every day going to do something that's going to help me get closer to my dream, whether it's working on the business, it's working on yourself, it's healing, it's reading some books. It is, getting our marketing plan together, booking a consultation with someone to help you get a game plan together, taking a course or a master class. Like, what are we doing to get ourselves together to end 2023 with a bang? Like, let's just end better than how we started it. Well, it's almost over. It ain't over yet. Like, we still got 37 days left. We can make something shake in 37 days, right? So for everyone who has just put their dream on pause or just chunked it over, with whichever one you are, right? I challenge you to be intentional on bringing that dream back, bringing that vision back, and getting a game plan as to how we can wake up the vision, wake up us, wake up, our thoughts and what we wanted to do, and get a plan so that 2024, we have a plan to work to actually bring that vision to fruition. So check out my Black Friday specials if you want. I have consultations, but really what y'all need to do is write down these dreams that y'all done put on the back burner and be intentional in bringing those to come in 2024. Everyone have a great night, and I will, of course, see you at the bank.